There have been some overrated Best Picture winners over the years, like Coda, Nomadland, and Slumdog Millionaire. But the movie I will be talking about today must perhaps be the most overrated movie to ever win Best Picture at the Oscars. The movie is called Parasite, and that's the one movie we'll be talking about today. If we start with the first problem this movie has, it will be about entertainment. The slow progression of it does not help the movie, and it is a very boring throughout the movie as a whole. In fact, the movie is very good to watch if you want a full dopamine reset, because it's largely where a few times you are very excited when watching it. It takes about an hour to get this concept up and running. You are with this family that lives in a very poor district where people come to piss outside the house all the time. They try to fill a bunch of pizza boxes to earn money. They have to go to the window in the bathroom in order to find a Wi-Fi connection. Basically, they are very poor, and because of that, they try to lure themselves into this rich family so that they can work for them and earn real money. One of them becomes a housewife, one of them becomes a driver, one of them becomes an art teacher, and one of them does English lessons and starts to fall in love with the girl he is teaching. The problem is, of course, that it takes almost an hour before the concept finds its footing, and in a movie that lasts just over 2 hours, I will consider that a slow beginning. Naturally, to really see the divide between rich and poor, it is understandable to start at a place before they have these jobs. Nevertheless, the movie would have just benefited with a reduction in the beginning for, let's say, either 10 or 20 minutes. That's just one of the few changes they could have done to make it more entertaining and bearable to watch. People talk about this movie being revolutionary, which is a highly far-fetched claim. Because although I agree on the basic principle that it portrays the divide between rich and poor, I do not agree that it is shown in a very different way from other movies. We have actually seen this divide being better portrayed in other movies like in Django and Chain Killers of the Flower Moon, and even in the director Bong Joon-ho's own movie from 2013 called Snowpiercer. We see the divide between those living in bad conditions on the train and those living in swell conditions. That is also a much better and more entertaining movie that you could actually understand if it had been nominated for an Oscar, and if it had won it too. It would not be as strange as this winner back in 2020. To me, the reason for Parasite being a winner seems just like a decision they had made beforehand, where they were on quest to find a saccharine movie that could win Best Picture, no matter the quality of the movie, even though they had to cook up something bad from the streets. Recently, I've seen a lot of saccharine movies both this year and last year that was so much better than this one. I'm sure I can list at least 20 movies from that country that are better than this one. That includes 2 of this director's own movies, like Memories of Murder from 2003 and A Host from 2006. But of course, those were not even nominated because saccharine movies were not on the radar during that time. Anyways, those movies actually entertain you as opposed to this one, which is a slow-burning drama movie that is completely a thing that erases your dopamine. Another critique I can give against this movie is about how the concept is not that well done. Absolutely, it is a very interesting concept with his family trying to lure themselves into his family by creating this fraud where they replace themselves with the people they had working for them before, by telling all sorts of lies about them. But as a concept, I don't think they take it far enough, and a lot more insane stuff could have happened during this movie to make it more entertaining. Then to me, the whole movie just feels like a bad version of the show I watched about 5 years ago called Sneaky Pete. We have this kind artist that lures himself into a family as the cousin Pete, where he is not really related to them, but tricks them into thinking that he is. That show is a lot darker, has a lot more violence, and it is just a better version of this movie. Of course, it is tense with this guy in a basement that goes off the rails and he shows up trying to kill people at this big gathering in the garden, but not at least that's something you could have seen more of. In a movie that struggles to keep you entertained, it can't be that the sole purpose of an Oscar movie is to make you fall asleep, but in this case it surely seems that way. Of course, what I don't like is that these rich people feel so naive, and just randomly accepts all the stories from the poor people. That surely has acted and rehearsed what they are gonna say, but it seems highly unlikely that they would just accept anything without making any research into it. Another thing which I do not like about a movie is how you see a visually good movie where it is not backed up by good scenes and acting, which was the same case with June Poor 2. Even though the main character does give a usable performance, it is not a standout performance. This is also an actor, Song Kong-ho, that seems to be the most trusted man by this director, as he has been used in all the other movies that I mentioned by Bong Joon-ho today. With these other characters in the movie, there's either not really any of the other characters that you are thinking about when you see them. Wow, that was a really good character. Basically, after watching this movie, I kind of understand why it was nominated for an Oscar, why it managed to win it, and how this is the movie that Bong Joon-ho wanted for. When a lot of his other movies are better, sure it portrays the divide between the rich and poor, but you have seen it better done in other movies. So it is simply very sort of revolutionary. After this movie, I want my dopamine back. Okay, yes, it might not be as boring as The Brutalist, but not far from it either. That's why it is a 5 out of 10, and I don't really see why people think this movie is one of a kind.